Hello, truth seekers, welcome to Cruise TV, your #1 YouTube channel that provides you with facts, with zero to very minimal errors. Truth seekers, we rarely hear someone say, I was sitting in a classroom focusing really hard when I had a brilliant idea. But we do know stories of people who were inspired or had their big revelation during an everyday task. After all, Archimedes was taking a bath when he made his infamous discovery. Informal situations and experiences trigger our curiosity more, prompting us to explore and discover new ways of doing things. Learning can happen anywhere. Let's find out why. We learn best when we are immersed in learning experiences that are active, engaged, meaningful, and interactive. This could be through experiential learning, small team projects, study trips, exploration of current events, use of online and digital sources of information, and internship programs. This means that learning can happen everywhere, not just in the classroom. We can't ignore the importance of students attending classes to learn, but learning outdoors and in communities helps students to collaborate, make connections, and integrate knowledge into real-world application. This way, they become problem solvers who discover meaningful connections between what they learn in the classroom and the world around them. However, the world today has thankfully progressed much further since my school days. Now we know that everything we do with children, from eating to tying shoelaces, is a learning opportunity. For instance, next time you are taking a walk with your little one, count the steps you take. Get him to help you with measuring ingredients for cooking. Explore the different types of fruits and vegetables at the supermarket next time you go shopping together. Stuck in traffic? Observe the road signs, number plates, and the colors of the vehicles around you. Before you know it, you are supporting your child to develop his literacy, numeracy, and observation skills, all in a day's work. We learn best when we are immersed in learning experiences that are active, engaged, meaningful, and interactive. The science of learning tells us that to make learning optimal, content and context should be connected and make sense. For this to happen, we need to put what we learn or knowledge into practice as soon as possible. Therefore, learning through doing is the most effective way to learn. Everyday life happens outside of classrooms and schools, where we come into direct contact with reality. This in return gives meaning, relevance, and context to the ideas we have and the theories we know. Thus, the experiences we have every day in the world that surrounds us affect how and what we learn much more significantly than being lectured in a classroom. We know that exercise supports physical well-being. But did you know that it can also promote intellectual growth? This is called embodied learning. When children are moving and engaging in physical activities, they explore and interact with the world around them. They come into contact with the external reality and gather abstract ideas. Moreover, they learn directives and how to use their senses, particularly touch. Thus, a large part of essential learning takes place when children are playing and exploring their environment. Most of us would describe doing absolutely nothing as the opposite of learning. On the contrary, we discovered that idling and feeling bored supports the brain development of little children. When a child's mind is not crowded by homework, structured activities, or screen time, it gets space to think. This prompts children to unleash their imagination and let those creative juices flow. This, of course, is the recipe for innovation. Giving children the freedom to decide what to do and how to do it promotes their autonomy. The result is they don't just learn, but also learn how to create learning opportunities for themselves and others. Here are 4 lovely, exciting stories and experiences. 1. Students see firsthand responsible fishing's impact on the ecosystem. In the geography form, I-Quest, drainage and water bodies, students engage in discussing drainage systems and major water bodies. Luckily, St. Monica Secondary School is located at the shore of the Indian Ocean, where small-scale fishing is one of the largest island occupations for men living along its coast. Miss Eunice Phone, a geography mentor in collaboration with Mr. Lunyori Mingati at St. Monica, arranged for their students to visit the shore and explore the nature of the ocean and how water drains into it from different places, including from their school compound. Then, they investigated the pros and cons of the drainage system to the ocean and its aquatic species. This outdoor exploration provided them with an opportunity to have a live encounter with small-scale fishing activity. Students interviewed fishers on how they manage their fishing activities without causing problems to aquatic species and their own lives. They heard about the benefits of small-scale fishing and the challenges fishers encounter. They took pictures and notes and compiled a report that they shared with fellow students at their school. 2. Students evaluate the benefits of local water sources. Form 2 students learn about the conservation of natural sources of water as described in the quest Water Pollution. In the quest, students are asked to think about the problem of water pollution and what can be done to make water clean again. For students to experience the reality of water pollution and conservation, Mr. Manji Urasa, who mentors geography at Urukai Secondary School, furthered this activity by organizing a trip to explore local natural water sources with his Form 2 students. They investigated the benefits of natural water sources to the local communities, the challenges facing these water sources, and ways to overcome those challenges. For example, they saw firsthand how farming around water sources, like natural springs, has devastating impacts on the local communities and investigated the importance of vegetation in conserving these water sources. 3. Students make connections between what they learned in class and their real-world experiences. Aisha Hassan Wawuda, a Form 3 student, recently reflected on biofuel production when she connected her work in the Quest biogas and her visit to an actual biofuel plant. The trip was organized by her chemistry mentor, Mr. Juma Imsangi. Aisha reflected, "I have been participating in cleaning the school and home compound but didn't realize the importance of waste that I have been disposing of. After we had a study trip to a nearby neighborhood to learn about biofuel production from organic waste and interviewed our host, who manages the biogas plant, I realized that wastes, scraps that I have been disposing of could be used to produce biogas as an alternative source of fuel. This was a new and exciting experience for me." 4. Students become curious about everyday experiences. Juliette Kamambo, a Form 3 student at Mtakuja, learned the characteristics of fungi in the quest for Kingdom Fungi. Later, she decided to conduct her own experiment at home on fungi and reported, "I warmed some water and mixed it with yeast. Then poured it into the bottle and at the top, mouth covered it with a balloon." After some time, Juliette said, "I noticed that the balloon was inflated and had gas in it. I realized that yeast had produced a certain gas that was collected into the balloon." She then concluded that yeast has the same effect in baking bites like bread and mandazi. Truth seekers, students need to discover connections between what they learn in the classroom and life outside the school. This boosts their interest to attend school and learn because they realize the knowledge and skills they learn in school are important to improving life outside the school. Through Quest Forward Learning, educators provide opportunities for learners to develop knowledge and skills outside the classroom. The experiences we have every day in the world that surrounds us significantly affect how and what we learn. When we embrace the idea that learning can happen all around us, we experience the joy of learning in our everyday lives. As adults, we must support the overall well-being of children and help them to make sense of this world. We also know that play and exploration are the most natural ways for children to learn, develop and grow. Therefore, it is necessary to remember that learning is not exclusive to classrooms and schools. It cannot and should not be limited to studying, homework and assessments. The moment we embrace the idea that learning can happen all around us, we will start experiencing the joy of fun learning in our everyday lives. Truth seekers, subscribe for more content like this weekly and don't forget to turn on the notification for daily fact video.